Today we're going to be doing a live stream on Twitch with Denny Qta. We got Refined Warrior up here, aka Amy. We have Musa and we have Keri from the Web3 Summit. Today we're just going to have a casual stream, and we'll be talking a little bit about Vitalik the Goat. That's a 10K NFT project, and the founder is Jenny. And we'll also be talking a little bit about Jenny's new project, Web3VCFUNDS. So look forward to that. It's going to be a very interesting stream, very informative as well. I know a lot of people have been anxious, a lot of people that follow Jenny, to hear the news.
Well, hey, everyone. I think it's been at least a month or two since the last time we had a live with my team, Rod and Amy. Good to have two guests today. I'll let them say hi real quick, and then we will introduce them a little bit later. So, Keri, hi, Keri, from the Web3 Summit. And then Musa. Hi, Musa.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us today. And we are having again Rod. Everyone knows he's one of my team members, always the host of Twitch, and Amy, my only other female team member. Always glad she's a lawyer in Wall Street background. But Rod, go ahead, take it away.
All right, I think we just dive straight into it. I had a question for you, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
As one of your team members, we work with you and we're pretty much aware of everything that's going on, with the projects and everything. But for the outsiders, people, like I said, who follow you and keep up with all of your posts and tweets and everything, could you give us a brief about what's going on with Vitalik the Goat? Because we haven't, we've been a little quiet and we haven't really been posting too much about it. So I'm pretty sure people want to know what's going on.
Yes, Vitalik the Goat. So I'm just gonna give a brief of Vitalik the Goat. Let's see, a week, I believe the first week of October, so it's been a month now. I went offline to prepare for my speaking event at the Web3 Expo in Las Vegas. So I've been offline probably. The expo began on October the 10th. So I believe I was offline a week prior. So around October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, around there. So I have not been online for that week. And then the entire week, when the Web3 Expo was happening in Vegas, started on October the 10th through the 15th. So when I came back, uh, certain things happened with Vitalik the Goat. Vitalik the Goat was formerly owned by a different entity. I don't wish to go through that situation because those who do know about that situation, they are already aware of it. So basically, I acquire Vitalik the Goat from that entity, on my own. So that's why I've asked my team members, such as yourself, Rod, and Amy, and other team members, to not tweet or socialize about the Vitalik the Goat 10K NFT collection until we go through the correct legal process for me to acquire that entity from the previous company that owned it. Now, of course, Vitalik the Goat was my collection, and that so it should be rightfully owned by me under my own company and not under my previous predecessor. So now that the legal process of Vitalik the Goat is done and completed, we are launching a an exclusive. What we call it is the Christmas version of Vitalik the Goat. Um, I believe that my team sent out a tweet yesterday with some samplings of Vitalik the Goat Christmas theme. They're same artist, so beautiful. And with that, Vitalik the Goat, if you go to the website right now, VITALIKTHEGOAT.com, you will see a clock that you need a password to get in. Once again, we are letting those who do own the Vitalik the Goat NFTs and larger investors who are collecting NFTs to have the first right. That's a part of the utilities, I guess, to get into the collections first so they can choose. Maybe they can find a rare one. And so, we delay that launch until today at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But right before I got on live, I got a couple calls requesting me to delay it again until tomorrow morning. So that could be the case. And so right now, basically, the special edition Vitalik the Goat Christmas is already live, and it's only for special folks, that collectors and those who do own a previous Vitalik the Goat NFT. Will give them a password to enter so they can view and for them to make their purchases. So I will leave that there. I will, when we talk about the Web3 VC funds, that's when I'm going to share the additional utilities for Vitalik the Goat that no other NFT collections have such utilities. So owning a Vitalik the Goat, the collectors do have the rights of a lot of utilities that's connected to other businesses, ventures, or like recently when I was speaking at Web3Expo, they got certain tickets, invites for free. So all of that is it's kind of like Rod, what's his name? The collection called V Friends by a known guy. Amy, I'm not sure. I think Keri, do you know? V
Gary V.
Friends is
Yep.
by, yeah, Gary V. Rod, yeah, Gary V. So Keri, Gary V has his NFTs called V Friends, VEE Friends. And that collection is connected to everything that he does. Like when he has a conference, or when he has this and that, if you own one of his V Friends, then you get to do certain things that's connected with him. So the Vitalik the Goat NFT collection is connected to to what I do and my business ventures, etc. So I'll leave it there. Rod, thank you so much.
Wow, that was awesome. Great information, great news. Hope everybody in the chat heard that. Like Jenny said, there we have an exclusive collection coming, and it's dope. Honestly, I like it better than the original collection because who doesn't love
Really?
Christmas? Yeah, I like the
Yes.
Santa
Mm-hmm.
hat, and I like all the traits. They're awesome. So yeah, I look
Oh, and you
forward to
know
the
what?
launch.
Yeah, and you know what though? So here's the thing. Yesterday, when the team tweeted out and they hashtag BOGO. BOGO, as everyone knows, it stands for buy one, get one. So what we did was that if you buy, and it's the same price actually. So our original Vitalik the Goat, we listed at zero point 0.5 of an ETH, so half an ETH, right? So the Christmas collection is the same price, zero point 0.5 of an ETH. But when you buy a Christmas Vitalik the Goat NFT, you will get a coupon being sent directly to your email. I mean, when you buy it, you see after this Twitch, I will tweet out because I've been testing it. That's why I have all the screenshots. That once when you purchase a Christmas Vitalik the Goat, it will pop up the screen and you enter in your email, and then the system will send you a coupon code through your email. You use that coupon code, you go back to the website, and you can claim another one, the original Vitalik the Goat. There's only 1,000 Christmas Vitalik the Goat. So I believe it's going to go fast, especially it's under a BOGO, which is buy one, you get one. So I forgot to mention about that. There you go, Rod.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna jump on that, especially like some of
Mhm.
our people that already hold an OG. I mean, they might end up buying another one, just so they can get more. I know I
Totally,
would.
totally. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the launch of that, and when it goes live, it's gonna be epic. Tweeting about it, talking about it. Um, I've got a lot of ideas too, so I'll definitely be making a video about it as well. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
hyped. Amy, do you
Cool.
have any thoughts on it?
Amy, you're mute. Amy.
Stop. Well, thank you for
Oh,
letting
there
me
you
know
go.
that. I wasn't mute
Okay,
to
no
myself.
problem.
I was just
No
saying that
problem.
I've had people DM me asking me questions about it. I'm excited about it, and just very eager about the entire collection. In my mind,
Mm-hmm.
I've I've said it before. It was a brilliant idea, but not surprising coming from Jenny Kuta. I've I had a quick question though.
Sure.
What's been on my mind? Let's dive straight into the newly launched project. You're always coming up with new things, full of surprises. I'm very excited about this, especially as a female who's in the Web3 space, into NFTs on Wall Street, so to speak, dealing with the stock market. Could you share about the Web3 VC Funds project that just pretty much launched?
Gotcha. Yes. So the Web3 VC funds, it went live yesterday. To those out there who would like to visit the website while we're talking about it here, the website is very easy. Just go to Web3, that's number three. VC stands for venture capital, and then funds is plural, FUNDS.com. Web3VCFunds.com. So I've been working on this project for a while, and so it launched yesterday. And we specialize in a couple of things under Web3 VC funds. Number one, like the name that it has, VC funds. VC fund stands for we collaborate with a pool, POOL, a pool of funds of venture capital, right? So right now you can say that you know approximately we have a pool of funds about $25 million at the moment. I am one of the founding members of VC Web3VCFunds.com, and that I am a managing director. Now, to those who um, don't know the VC world, they don't use the title CEOs or CTOs or CFO, but it's more simplex. So the terms, the title managing director is like that of a CEO. So I do run Web3 VC funds, and that's number one, is a pool of funds from different venture capital to invest in the Web3 space. So conservatively right now, I can share that we have about $25 million that we have combined to acquire certain assets or invest in certain projects within the Web3 space. So that's number one. Number two, which we are specializing in, is what it's called a Reg CF. Reg CF stands for Regulation Crowdfunding. Now, I'm going to take this out a little bit. So, if Musa or Keri, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in because this is the topic of this live space today. Reg CF, if I may give a little bit broader explanation, is it was founded by the Jobs Act of 2016. Okay, so it's not long ago. So 2016 to 2022, we're talking about for about 5 or 6 years. Am I right? So about 2016, so it's about 6 years. It's only been 6 years old. So when Reg CF was founded in 2016, the maximum requirement for it was only $1.07 million. Very little, right? It's so if you want to think about it without the fraction, it's only $1 million. Okay. But if you want it to be accurate, it's actually $1.07 million. Now, there are a lot of different regulations on Wall Street. You probably heard Regulation A plus, Reg D, Reg A. Actually, Reg A has several of them. Reg 506C, D. There's a lot of different ones. Each one has their own rules and regulation. We're just going to talk specifically about Reg CF and why is Reg CF so unique. Now, since the launch in 2016, which is $1.07 million, last year through President Obama was the one who is behind the raise, the increase from 1.07 to $5 million. Okay, $5 million. Now, if you were to ask, well, Jenny, that's great. Okay, I mean, that's great. But what is it? I mean, can normal people apply? What is the requirement for it? You know, here's the basic. Number one, Reg CF can only be qualified for U.S. corporation. Now, that doesn't mean if you are overseas, let's just say like I don't know, CZ Binance, obviously he's overseas, right? So when he's overseas, he still has like Binance US, right? I have a lot of friends who have businesses in Singapore, Taiwan, Indonesia, Vietnam, but that doesn't mean that they don't own a U.S. corporation like from Delaware or Wyoming or Nevada. You all understand what I'm saying? So the Reg CF is specifically for U.S. corporation. But I'm going to say it again. That does not mean that it's restricted from foreigners. If you own a U.S. corporation, that's the first thing you're qualified, right? And if you go to Web3VCFUNDS.com, we helped you with those steps, okay? The number two that is very crucial with Reg CF versus any other regulation like Reg D, Reg A plus, is that all of the other regulation, you are required to be an accredited investor. Okay. Now, I know Amy probably knows because she's on Wall Street what accredited investors mean. I believe Rod knows because he's my team member. He hears me talk about it. But just in case for Musa and Keri, just in case if you don't know what an accredited investor is, let me share a few points, and it's very simple. Number one, if you are single, you're not married, you have to make $200,000 in annual income, $200,000 salary. If you are married with a wife or a husband and you file jointly, together you must make $300,000 in joint earning income. Then there is a third option that if your net worth is $1 million or more, you're also qualified as an accredited investor. Now, let me explain a little bit here. Some people ask me, well, Jenny, I mean, if you already, how can you be $1 million net worth and not making $200,000 or $300,000 a year, right? They're not mutually exclusive, and here's why. Some people inherit money. Let's just say a 22-year-old guy who works at McDonald's and his grandfather just passed away, and boom, a lawyer calls him up and say, hey, your grandfather just left you $1 million. Now he just became an accredited investor overnight and still working at McDonald's, $20 an hour. You get what I'm saying? Now, with that $1 million net worth, you cannot count your first home. Now, I'm going to choose Rod, for example. Let's just say Rod has a beautiful home with his family, and the market value of Rod's home right now is $1.1 million. Now, you would say that, well, then Rod is an accredited investor. His home alone is $1.1 million. But the accredited investor, the rules are minus your first home. So even if Rod has his first home and it's worth $1.1 million, and he does not make 200,000, nor does he or his wife, combine make three. And of course, I'm just using Rod as an example. I'm sure Rod makes more than that. He's with me, okay? But I'm just saying that I like to use people when I explain because it's easier to explain. So, and let's just say, Rod and his wife, they don't make $300,000. But they own this $1.1 million home, and they don't have any other assets, then Rod is not an accredited investor. Okay, so did I make myself clear? The final thing, this may pertain to Amy and my other team member, Steven, he's offline today, is if you are Wall Street licensed. Wall Street license is what I used to have. You got to have the Series 7, the Series 6, the Series 63, the Series 24. If you are on Wall Street, U.S. Wall Street, America, okay, and you are licensed, even if you don't make 200,000, you and your spouse do not make 300,000, you don't have a $1 million net worth, you are still qualified as an accredited investor. Because why? At the end of the day, the SEC define accredited investor is that you must know what you are doing. Okay? So if you're that wealthy, then you should know what you're doing because you already made yourself wealthy, right? Or those who work on Wall Street, even though they don't make the money, but by passing all of those security licenses, you must know Wall Street. Okay, so that's why they would allow you to invest in high risk investment, such as privately held companies, etc., etc. Now, I don't want to go on, but this is important here. Okay, the thing about Regulation CF is that it allows non-accredited investor to invest, but there is a limit. Now, why do you think President Obama wanted to raise this Reg CF from 1.7 million to 5 million? Because President Obama and the Democrats, they always wanted to help the poor and the middle class, correct? It's usually the Republicans that is for the the rich, the elites. But the Democrats, well, we believe that they wanted to help the poor and the middle class. Now, ask this question. There's a saying that people say, why do the rich always get richer? Right? You heard the phrase, the rich keeps on getting richer. It's because they get deals like Uber, Facebook, Apple. I mean, deals behind back doors. They tell each other. One of them invests. They get the other rich people. It's like you hang around with what you are, right? I mean, you don't see like a Mark Zuckerberg hang around with people like us. You get what I'm saying? He hangs around with people like him. So when there's a deal, he tells his friends, and that's the reason why the rich get richer. So all of these time, the Reg CF only allow non-accredited investor. So what that means is that the regular people like us, okay, you now can invest in privately held projects like Uber before it became Uber. You guys get what I'm saying? Just like, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everyone knows who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. He invested in Google before it went public, right? Tons of rich people invested in Uber before it went to public. But the poor and the middle class, hold on for a second, Musa, were not able to do that because they were stuck within just that 1.7 million. And 1.7 million, it will go very fast. You get what I'm saying? So ever since President Obama raised the bar to 5 million, and he barely did that just last year, March of 2021. Here's the data before you ask the question, Musa. From March of last year through December of last year, after he raised the bar to $5 million, they've locked in $1.1 billion. Now, if you take $1.1 billion and you divide it by 5 million, that equals to about 220 projects, assuming they each get $5 million max. Are you guys with me? Keri, you're with me, right? So 220 projects for 1.1 billion. Right now, with our live Twitch, we're on November 1st. Agree? That number has already nearly tripled, double to triple this year. So if it was 1.1 billion last year, it's nearly 3 billion now. So if it was 220 projects last year, it's nearly 500 projects this year, assuming each project maximize the raise of 5 million. You guys getting me? The projection for next year, it will double that of this year. So 220, 500, 1,000 next year. By 2030, the Reg CF is anticipated to possibly reach $1 trillion in funding. Because as we're going into the metaverse, as Web3, which is the space that all of us are in, Web3, you will see more independent founders and creators, right? We're not working at regular jobs anymore, right? So those independent founders and creators, okay, in the Web3 space, do you think that they're gonna go to the original venture capital world, which is VCs, to get their funding? No way. They will not get a check from those regular VCs. So Reg CF is definitely the way. And because of my background and my connections on Wall Street, and I will go more, I'm sure you guys gonna have questions, what's the requirement? And I'm gonna go more so I don't go on. Because of my lengthy background on Wall Street and all of my friends on Wall Street, that's why I set up Web3VCFUNDS to help founders and creators to tap into this pool of Reg CF, which barely just begun within the last 1.5 years. Now, there you go. Musa, do you have a quick question?
Yeah, you pretty much asked it by yourself about the requirements.
Okay, gotcha. So, Rod and Amy, if you guys have any other questions, and then I would be planning to introduce Keri and Musa after both of you guys are done.
Amy, did you
Rod,
want to go first?
Amy? Oh. You're muted.
You
Okay,
can go
Amy,
first
good.
if you want.
Were you asking about if I had any questions like pertaining to the Reg CF?
Yeah. Let's just say if you are one of the founders or you're one of the creators of a project and you're interested in the Reg CF,
Oh,
take people into, yeah. So
okay.
any
So yeah,
questions?
I guess my one question would be, yeah. So basically, for like any project business, if they're interested in this, how do the founders or the project, go about, getting into this? I mean, obviously they can go to web3vcfunds.com and check it out for
Hmm.
themselves. But yeah, what's the process like, and what do they need to do?
Okay, excellent question. So basically, of course, it is, if you have not, a lot of the people, let me answer it this way. Majority of the creators and founders of projects that I've met, either through conventions or on Twitter, their knowledge of the space is, or even fundraising is, I would give less than 10%. So they do need a lot of help. Okay. So reach out to us. We do have simple packages on our website, web3vcfunds.com. Now, to those out there who already own a Vitalik the Goat NFT, okay? If you own a Vitalik the Goat NFT, the first package, which is value $999, you can have a free consultation with one of our team members of the company to go through all that with you to see if you can do it, if you can't do it. So there shouldn't be any excuses by saying, oh, well, that's how we connect. I'm following Gary V, right? Gary V has an NFT collection. I have an NFT collection, right? So this is what I'm offering in real life utilities, that when you own one Vitalik the Go NFT, you literally just save yourself $1,000, okay, to learn about this. And those that who don't, that's the first step. If you want me to review things, if you want my team to review things, you either buy a Vitalik the Go NFT or you pay us fiat $999, and we will go through all the steps with you. The requirement, Rod, is actually pretty simplex. Okay, number one, you just have to have a corporation, right? A LLC, a C corp, Delaware, New York, California, Wyoming, Nevada. Then you gotta have basic business plan, a deck, etc. And then you gotta make sure you gotta have your tax ID in order. And once when you have all those in place, then a professional like myself or my team will take you further, because there are a couple of difficult steps um, until your project is placed on an SEC register broker dealer or a Reg CF certified platform. So let me slow that down a little bit. Let's just say Keri has a project and she said, Jenny, you know what? I love it. I want to do it. I want to tap into this $5 million. Everybody get to do it, one project per year. So let's just say, Keri, let's just say you are one person, okay, but you own 3 projects. You can raise $5 million per each of those projects. That is correct, okay? So, but the thing about it is, one of the requirements for Reg CF is you guys heard of GoFundMe
Yeah.
or some of the other crowd like Kickstarter? You guys heard of Kickstarter? That's different. Okay. You can go through that, but no one takes you seriously. You can try because they're not regulated as much. Okay. But Reg CF is regulated, whereas in essence, when you go through Reg CF, you have to connect with a broker dealer. Now, that's my background. All of my friends, some of them, they own a broker dealer. A broker dealer is like a Goldman Sachs. Now, I used to own one, so that's why. Remember what I was saying? You hang around with your friends, right? So even though I got out and I went over to venture capital and being a startup founder, but a lot of my friends still own broker dealers, so they are qualified to to take on these Reg CF project. Or I have friends who own what is called an SEC certified Reg CF platform. So once when you got all of your ducks in a row, when I say ducks, is that the paperwork, the auditing financial statements, yada yada yada, then you have to go to, if you don't have us, you got to go and find yourself a broker dealer. They may or may not accept your project, because if they don't accept your project, where are you going to list it? You can't list your project, correct? So if you don't list your project, how would people know to invest in your company or your project, right? So I got that locked down. Okay. What that means is if you go through us, your project will be listed because I'm connected to my friends who do own broker dealers or Reg CF registered platform. So to further go in more, there are, depending on how much money that you need, if you want to go all the way to the max, which is $5 million, then you need audited financial. Okay, audited financial. But if you only raise like $500,000, then the requirement is much less. Okay, if you raise about $1 to $2 million, then you may need a CPA to just sign off on your accounting paperwork. Again, there are different levels, and so I will pause there. And the thing now, let me say this: if you guys were to ask me, well, Jenny, Reg CF seems complicated. Why can't I just take my project and go to Kickstarter? Right? Kickstarter is already out there. Now, the difference between Kickstarter and Reg CF, go to Kickstarter right now and put 500 or 1,000 in any of those projects. You're not a shareholder of that company. Let me repeat. You are not a shareholder of that company. Did I make myself clear? Okay. The difference between them and Reg CF is that once when you give that $500 or $1,000 under projects of Reg CF, you become a shareholder of that company. So then if that company becomes an Uber, right, or a Airbnb, well, guess what? You just rode that up the hill when it comes to profit. You get what I'm saying? Kickstarter and all those other platforms similar to Kickstarter, they are not registered with the SEC, so they cannot give you shares of their company. You're basically paying them $1,000 or $500 to basically buy that product. They would just send you a product, and then that's it. So yeah, you're gonna get a bag. You're gonna be one of the first one to get that product. But what does that do to your wealth, your net worth? Nothing. Okay. So that's what I believe. Now that Reg CF is $5 million, it could potentially kill Kickstarter, because why would people put $500 or $1,000 over there when they can do the same over here and they become a shareholder? You get what I'm saying? That is the difference. Did I make myself clear?
Very.
See how good I am? No, I'm just kidding.
No, you are.
All right.
No,
That was
you are very,
very
very
well.
good.
Yeah,
Too good.
explained.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so as you can see, I explain things without looking at notes because Wall Street is in my blood. I live, I wake up. I mean, I founded two Wall Street broker-dealer. For you to have founded a broker-dealer from the ground up, you got to pass the Series 7, 63, 24, the 4, the 27. You have to have all of those licenses. Otherwise, how could you be a founder of a broker-dealer, right? That's why if I, and not only I did it once, I did it twice. So not only I had all of those exams locked down, I ran two broker dealers from the ground up. So I live and I breathe SEC rules and regulation. So there you go.
That was excellent. I
Keri?
have a quick question if I can interrupt briefly.
Oh, sure. It'll be Amy and then Keri. Go
Just
ahead,
briefly,
Amy.
I'll ask this. What stake in the company do the CF investors get? It just came to mind.
Okay. So the Reg CF is very simplified. For example, now I'm going to use you, Amy. So let's just say you create a C corp in Wyoming. Now, Wyoming is because they're they're one of the states that is most lenient when it comes to cryptocurrency. So if we're in the Web3 space, I will probably promote Wyoming, right? So let's just say, Amy, you create a corporation in Wyoming and your initial shares for your company is 10 million share, right? When you create a corporation, that's the requirement. How many shares do you want? So let's just say you want 10 million shares. Some people create 30 million shares, 50 million shares, 100 million shares. That's up to you as the founder, okay? So let's just say you start out with 10 million shares. So that's the paperwork process that Web3VCFUNDS, that's my company, will help guide you through. One of the things that I will help you, or the team will help you, is called a cap table. Now, have you guys heard what a cap table is? It seems like Keri does. She's nodding her head. A cap table is a list of all shareholders that owns all the shareholders that own that piece of your 10 million share of your company. You're with me, Amy? So let's just say when you launch this company, you are the only owner. You own 100% of your company. You're the only name on that cap table. But let's just say when you launch it, you say, Jenny, I would love you to be a part of my partner. I love Raw to be on it. Steven, I love our team to be on it. So let's just say each of us own a million share and you own 50%. So you own 5 million share. So there are a total of 6 of us on the cap table, correct? So now if 6 of us is on your company's cap table and all 10 million shares that you initially issue, if they're all gone, then there's no more shares left in treasury. The word is treasury, okay? For you to offer in the Reg CF. You're with me, Amy. So therefore, you need to issue new shares or you have to shrink all of us. Your 50% or me owning a million, Rod owning a million, Steven owning a million. So that 10 million is gone. So you shrink back, you take everybody back. Okay, Jenny, you better give me back 200,000 or 300,000. I'm going to put back in a pot. So whatever you have left in what it's called treasury shares is what you can offer in Reg CF. Now, that's where the professional will help you in terms of where are you going to value your company for you to raise that $5 million, and for each share, how much is it going to be? The one thing about non-accredited investor, and again, the SEC is still protecting the non-accredited investor because why? I explained that already. When you're non-accredited investor, you don't have the experience and the expertise as the accredited investors do. But President Obama wanted the lower class and the middle class to to have the same opportunity to invest in companies like Uber as that of the rich. You're with me. So by allowing that, there is a cap. A cap, what that is I believe that based upon your income, and you have to prove your income, you may only invest a maximum of $2,200. Now, I can share that further, but I don't want to bore the people. But let's just say if Musa, I'm gonna pick on Musa now, if Musa is non-accredited, right? And then he heard Jenny talk. She said, "Oh my God, I love her so much. I'm gonna invest all of the project that she touches her hand on." Let's just say, right? So per project, Musa, even if you want to write me a check for $1 million, let's just say you're not non-accredited, but let's just say you have gold somewhere stashed in your home, right? And you believe, oh my God, I believe this project that Jenny Ta is doing is going to be the next Uber. So I want to give her $1 million, right? You can't. The maximum that you can give me, there is a chart, probably is around $2,200 per project, because still the SEC doesn't want a bunch of inexperienced, non-accredited folks to get hurt or to file lawsuits by saying, "Oh my God, I gave Jenny Ta my entire life saving, which is $100,000, but I didn't know any of the things that she was saying," and then lawsuits will go back and forth. You guys get what I'm saying? So there is an opportunity for the poor and the middle class to invest in projects that's usually for accredited investors only, but now they have that opportunity, but with limitation. So I hope that's clear. Did I answer your question, Amy?
Yes, you did
Yes.
perfectly. Thank you very much.
Okay, I've got a question for you.
Thank you so much.
What's the minimum amount of
Okay, go ahead.
getting the investment done? What's the minimum amount to invest in?
Minimum
Yeah.
amount for, oh, okay. It depends on the project, Musa. Okay. Like the maximum, I believe, a non-accredited investor can invest in any Reg CF project is about 2,200. Also, depending upon your income. So let's just say if your income is lesser, I believe, 107,000. I have to double check. Okay. Because again, all my life I've dealt with accredited investor. So this, the Reg CF was barely passed by Obama last year. I'm getting my feet wet, so I need to get the numbers right when it comes to an individual investor. But it's based upon the annual salary that each person make. So the lower that you make, the lower you are allowed to invest. You get what I'm saying? So I believe the maximum amount that you can invest is 2,200, and I believe the annual salary there is $107,000. Okay, so even if you want to write more checks, you can't, because the SEC would not allow it, because again, they're trying to teach non-accredited investors to invest in these big boy projects, baby steps at a time. But I do believe Reg CF is gonna explode.
Should I be eligible to invest in if I've got a net worth of $600,000?
Well, I mean, if you have a net worth of 600,000, you're still considered a non-accredited investor. Okay. I don't believe the qualification is based upon how much you have in the bank. I do have to check, double check, but I do believe that the SEC is based upon your income. Because let me give you an example. Usually on Wall Street, it's also common sense too as well. And here's a common sense. So let's just say you're jobless, right? Musa, you say, "Oh, I have $600,000 in the bank. I don't need to work," right? I mean, to me, I'm a wealthy man. I don't need to work. But for a wealthy man, which you have 600,000 in the bank, cold cash, let's just say you have a family, a wife and 2 kids, trust me, that's going to go down pretty fast. Okay. So you can have that $600,000 today, but that doesn't mean you're going to have $600,000 2 months from now. Okay. So that's the reason why I believe the SEC put a limitation on the amount of investment based upon an earned income. That means you got to have a job, right? And so based upon that, that's where the grid, it's called the grid and the guideline is at. So Keri, did I answer your question, Musa? Okay.
Yes.
Keri,
Yes.
did you have a question? Thank you, Musa.
Less a question and more a comment. You know, I personally do have
Sure.
experience being a founder and fundraising, but there's so many people who do not. And so in this Web3 space, especially where so many people are given the opportunity for this access, the knowledge that you're putting out here is so useful, right? It's going to be absorbed like a sponge by all these new project owners and these new business entrepreneurs, because this moment is unprecedented, right? Where people are able to jump in and become founders and have a vehicle for fundraising like never before. But thus far, what we've seen is they're doing it completely from the hip, and it's been pretty much a hot mess. So to see someone like yourself coming in with such an eloquent explanation as well, right? It's very easy to absorb what you're saying, and it doesn't feel like it's going over my head, right, or anyone else's head. And so I just want to comment on the value I think that you're bringing to this space.
I greatly appreciate that. And so to just keep a time with, short, this will be on YouTube to those who may not be able to catch it today, and it's gonna sit on Rod's Twitch too as well. But I wanted to keep within maybe the next 10 to 15 minutes because I want to respect my team members' time, Rod and Amy. I wanted to turn a question to you, Keri. I know that you founded Web3 Summit, which is happening at the end of this month to early December. My only question is, I met you and your team, and I've learned about the Web3 Summit straight out of Web3 Expo, which are the guys that I know who's behind Web3 Expo. We just came back from Vegas just 2 weeks ago. Some may be interested to understand if you can share with us, is there a connection or is it a spin-off from the Web3 Expo to the Web3 Summit? Can you share with us if there is that connection there?
There is a connection. We are collaborative partners, and so we're rising together. We're supporting each other. The biggest difference is the audience that we're educating. Web3 Expo is really focused on what you're talking about, Jenny. This audience of traditional investors, of traditional participants in the financial industry. And Web3 Summits is focused on more of your everyday user, your everyday business owner, your small to mid-sized business owner who, like you were saying, may not have the same experience in capital venture that the audience of Web3 Expo did. So I think that's why we're such a great complement, because we're really bringing a wide spectrum of audience. The similarities is that it is all about that education, that we're really trying to help with all of the people that are out there to tell them why this technology has so much opportunity, and why everyone on this call in this live chat is here. You know, why have we shifted our focus? Why would we do that? Right? And to be able to normalize that conversation and to do just as you are, Jenny, to make it so that the information is accessible and absorbable, right, by your average user, whoever that end user is. Because this is really the moment, unprecedented in history, that technology is to empower each person individually and collectively.
Exactly, exactly. I could not have put that any better when it comes to what you were sharing at the end, especially in the Web3 space. So thank you so much, Keri. While I have maybe one more question for each Musa and Keri, Rod, did you want to announce to see if any of our listeners out there may want to drop us a question before we wrap things up today? Did you wanted to share that, Rod?
Oh yeah, definitely. If anybody, we still got some viewers in the chat. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them now before we wrap things up. The only question that came in was, yeah, Sean. He asked about that, the stake that the CF investor gets. So I guess we can continue on, and then if another
Oh, the
question
state.
rolls in, yeah, if another question rolls in, then I'll toss it in before we wrap things up.
Sure, sure, sure. The state, it's in the United States of America. So we're in 50 states, but just because the US, America has 50 states, I would not recommend to set up your corporation in a lot of those states. There's probably just the top 5, if not 10 states that if you were asked my opinion, and it depends on your project. And again, that's the package 1. You see, when you go to Web3 VC funds, I'm not a lawyer, okay? But you don't need a lawyer, okay, for these kind of things, like where to set up or whatever. You can have an experienced mentor, which is me. Okay, I've set up many companies. I probably dealt with 1,000 attorneys myself. So, you know, at my level now, trust me, a lot of attorneys are actually intimidated by me, because sometimes I know more than them, and So anyway, so depending on your projects, I can probably give you guidance if it should be an LLC or a C corp or an S corp, because it also pertains to tax purposes too as well. Uh, and if you're into crypto, there's probably just 2 or 3 states that would be best if you set up your it's called domicile, that your corporation should be domiciled there. There are 1 or 2 states that if you care about privacy, okay, they protect privacy, meaning that just because anybody want to dig dirt on you, they can't. So let's just say if you don't have, let's say if you're a politician, right? Or you plan to run for politics, but you have a corporation, and you don't, or you don't want people to dig stuff about you. There are 1 or 2 states that you can domicile that protects that. You see that? So it depends on what it is. And so the answer to Sean, he's one of my teammates too. His picture is on Web3 VC, and they're all my team members, and I'm training them. I'm training them. Okay. Um, Sean, is that any states, California, Delaware, Wyoming, Nevada, as long as it is in the United States of America. But to anyone out there, that if you are a foreigner, you don't live in America, okay, and if you're interested in this Reg CF, there's always a way. But you either gotta buy one Vitalik the Goat NFT, or you gotta pay the first package. Nothing is free, right? Knowledge is power, and it costs you money to learn, right? But I can share you this. Going through Web3 VC funds, trust me, is cheaper than if you go through a lawyer. That's all I'm going to tell you, right? So, as we're waiting for other questions that may come in, I'm going to turn back to Musa. I'll ask you the final question. Musa, greatly appreciate you being here today. Can you share with our listeners today, what do you do, and why are you here? How did you get here? How did Jenny Ta, how did you get to have Jenny Ta invited you to be here? Can you share that with our audience,
Okay, all
Musa?
right. So this is Musa, and I'm a business manager at InvestZone. So I've got a colleague working there, so he passed me on to. I've had a research on you. I'm also a crypto enthusiast, so that actually catch my attention, and look at your NFTs and the work you're doing. That actually inspired me a lot, and that actually brings me here. So yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
also, I am a crypto trader by myself, and I'm really much interested to know more about what you are doing and what are your plans moving forward to the metaverse part as well. I'm quite interested. I'm curious to know. I've got a question in a question. So, I just wanted to know, like, are you planning to move to Metaverse soon?
Well, right now the metaverse is not a very hot topic because when a guy like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Meta, I believe he's lost more than $10 billion now. Originally, he said that he would put $10 billion out to chase after the metaverse. But I believe since he's lost more than that, some have speculated that it's up anywhere 30 to 50 billion now. His net worth has tumbling down. His company stock Meta, literally, Amy can fill in on that because she follows Meta
I'm
quite
long
closely.
Meta.
Did it get? Yeah. Oh, you
It's
are.
down
Did
seven.
it get chopped in
It's
half
down.
or
It's
more?
down about 71% from its
Oh,
all-time high.
See.
Now, luckily, I've
never
been
heard the
in
news.
since IPO, but yes, you are absolutely right on that, Jenny.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you've been in it since IPO, you basically are still way up, right?
Yes, I've
But
just
you've just lost a
given
lot
back
of
a
the
lot of my
gains.
gains. I've said, here you go, you can have this
There you
back.
go. There you go. Okay. So thank you so much, Amy. But Musa, I am building a Web3
Okay.
project right now. So to those who go into Web3VCFunds.com, scroll down to about middle of the page, you will see 4 projects. Actually 3 projects there, and then there's one that says your project here. The Web3 project is mine.
Oh,
I'm currently
okay.
building that. So that's why I'm a super busy startup
Oh,
entrepreneur,
okay.
okay? Serial
Huh.
entrepreneur. But I would say that here's my answer for you, Musa. Web3 is somewhat connected to the metaverse
Mm.
regardless. Okay? Now, in the future, okay, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I do not believe that there is one metaverse. I do believe that there will be a
Lot.
lot of
Yep.
microverses.
Yep.
Okay. So there are Web3 projects that are building right now, but most of the Web3 projects, I believe, will be connected to the metaverse one way or the other. But unlike Mark Zuckerberg, where he made it well known that, oh, I'm going to be the king of metaverse, and so he named Facebook Meta, I think he literally just hit a rock and he kind of tumbling down. So, I would be more safely to say that I'm building a Web3 project, but Web3 will be connected to the metaverse regardless. So I hope I answered that question.
Yes,
Okay.
you did.
So thank you so much. So unless if there's any other questions, Keri, did you have anything else to add before we wrap up? Actually, Keri, if you kind of share with us again about the Web3 Summit, how much the tickets, can is there way that my NFT can help you sell some tickets? I'm willing to offer some Vitalik the Go NFT if they buy one of your Web3, if that's helpful for you. Let me know. I know it's all about women that you're trying
Yeah,
to promote at the Web3 Summit. So, as a female entrepreneur, Rod is definitely, he supports female founders. Amy, definitely, she is. So, let me know what I can do and my team can do to help you to get
that
that
is
going,
that is
Keri.
gracious of all of you, and we appreciate it. We're Web3 Summits led by the women of Web3 in Miami, and so we absolutely are using this platform. Right, we're standing up because we saw a gap in the space. So Web3 Summits is November 30th and December 1st, and through my partner and I, we are female founders. Yeah. And through our experience in this space, we saw a gap in the kind of education that events were bringing to the table. So we felt compelled and passionate about being able to bring that out so that we could bring many more Web 2, right, the traditional space people into this Web 3 space. to show them, especially business owners, right? This is really what this technology is for. And it's a very natural transition, right? It's been mystified that Web3 and blockchain technology is something so different and foreign, when in reality it's not. It's software implementation.
Mm,
It's just new software implementation. And if you are a business owner, you are very adapt to what that means, right? A POS system, a
mm,
customer relation management system, an ERP system for inventory. And those are the same things that we're talking about. So really, we are standing here and we're saying, this is led by the women of Web3, right? We are supporting all of the women who have voice in Web3 and all of the people who have voice in Web3 who are looking for this platform to be able to stand up and say, here is our safe space. Let's ask questions. What are we missing? What do we want to know? What do we want to learn more about? And to feel good in that space about being able to ask those questions, right? So that's what we're here for, and that's what we're trying to do, and trying to bring people out so that they know we're here. This is our first year. This is our proof of concept. And anybody who is a founder, they're
mm.
very familiar with the POC, right? A proof of concept. This is the first
Yes.
one. So we're here to prove out that we believe that this is very important. And it's all about that local community too, right? We need to be the traveling roadshow, right? Not expecting everyone to come
Mm-hmm.
to us, but expecting to go to them. It's much easier to take our group and
Mm,
move around than to ask thousands of people to constantly come in and to drop their lives and move around, right? So
mm.
that's everything we're trying to do here. And we would love for VITALIKTHEGOAT to be a part, right? And so we absolutely should have that conversation. How can we drive additional value? And since we are focused all on these business owners and these founders, I think there's a great opportunity and relationship here. We're doing a pitch contest as well. So I want to talk to you guys about that, about being involved in being able to participate in that and maybe be on the panel of judges. Maybe there is a way that this could drive value that the winners could receive. One of the Vitalik goats, because that would make sense, right? Because again, that would give
Yes,
them the access to the resources that they need as founders in this space. So I think that might be a beautiful
exactly.
connection, because when you are a founder, there's so many things you have to learn to be able to navigate your way through as you're going through this process. Raising funds, what does that mean? What is your audience going to look like? What is alpha? What is beta? What are these adopters? How do you scale? So many things to understand. So we're going to do it over 2 days, and the first day is all going to be education for the founders. Let's help you
Mm,
with your pitch. Let's help you get prepared. And the second day will be on stage to actually give that presentation. Um, so yeah, so it's November 30th, December 1st. We're down in Miami. And our target audience is the local community there, along with all the people who will be flying in for the event of Art Week. But really, Miami is uniquely qualified to be able to absorb this information because they've had so much exposure
mm.
to the Web3 space, to cryptocurrency, to blockchain technology. So their general community is just more aware of the technology than other communities around the world.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, so certainly I believe you and I will have a call maybe later on this week so we can see what our team can do to help you. And now everyone out
Mhm.
there knows that by owning a Vitalik the Goat NFT, that's just not only a piece of art NFT. You're literally owning the utility that takes you into real life of actually raising up to $5 million in Reg CF. Nothing more real than that. I'm pretty sure Gary V couldn't offer that knowledge, right? He offers tickets to some of his events, but what
Yeah.
we're offering through my expertise and my team and through Vitalik the Goat, we're actually offering the growth of your project and your startup to have an opportunity that it could be a unicorn by raising capital one step at a time. So, unless there's other questions, but we can definitely wrap it there, Rod. Thank you so much. Personally to my team members, Rod, always the man. Whenever I ask to go on Twitch, it's always Rod. And Amy, greatly appreciate your presence today. Musa, thank you so much, and Keri. We will definitely talk soon. And Rod, take it away.
All right. Appreciate everyone for joining the Zoom. Yeah, Musa, it was nice to meet you. Keri, it was nice to meet you too. A lot of great information about the Web3 Summit. I look forward to that and seeing what you guys do out there. Thank you everybody for tuning in, all the viewers. I think it was a very great stream. Like I said, a lot of information about Vitalik the Goat, Web3 VC funds, and yeah, the Web3 Summit. I look forward to doing this again, maybe next week, another week from now, who knows? But maybe we can do another live stream. Whenever you need me, Jenny, I'm always here.
Thank you so much. I have a great team, a great team. Once again, everyone out there, thank you so much. We will drop this on YouTube. In the meantime, you can catch it again on Rod's Twitch. And then until next time, thank you, Keri, Musa, Amy, and Rod, and
Thank you
everyone
all.
out there.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Take care.